about to hit a nice little 4-leg same game parlay X on the college games tonight. Can't wait for those to start.
Let's get going. All right, you ready to roll?
Yes, sir.
Let's do it. In 3, 2. Hello, D-Gens. Welcome to Degenerate Takes. I, of course, am the Brofict one, AJ. Joining me, as always, man with the number, sportsbook whisperer, college basketball guru, daddy of the diamond, all hail the king of the links, the money train, Noah. How you doing today, bud?
I'm doing great. Hey, just took about probably a pound of hair off my face, so I'm feeling a little
Looks
lighter.
good.
Feeling the breeze come through. That's yeah. But obviously we're a little earlier than normal, so that's also another plus. Man, did not have to work a full day today, so love when that happens.
Shout out to you. I still did, but I just got in early today. Anyway, before we go any further, let's just take a moment. Shout out to everyone watching here on Rumble, over on YouTube and X. Y'all are the best. If you like what we're cooking, please hit those like buttons, hit the follow buttons. Does help us out more than you know. But I will say, Noah, your whole grooming, like face grooming schedule's never really made a lot of sense to me. You know, usually this is the time of the year where people are like, I'm not shaving because it's about to get cold out. And I mean, I know we live in Arizona, and so like cold is relative around here. But like this is the time where, you know, you let it eat a little bit, you let it go a little, mountain man, and you just look like you're ready for summer right now.
Hey, man, I am ready for summer. No, I'm just kidding. We just got done with all them triple digits down here. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not on any fucking schedule. The only schedule I follow is when the Wild make the playoffs, and then I gotta go full down to clean. And then usually about a week and a half later, they're out of the playoffs, and then I can do whatever the fuck I want. But yeah, the playoff beard, that's the only thing I'm following. Otherwise, you know me, both my hair on top, my hair on my face. It's just
I know.
Let it grow until I spontaneously feel like cutting it shorter or shaving it or whatever, and then
absolutely.
Then
Well, hey, also, shout out to the NHL. That was a great reference there, Noah. It is the Frozen Frenzy tonight. So after the sports equinox yesterday, we get the Frozen Frenzy, all 32 teams playing in 16 games today. Full top to bottom slate. It's a good one too, Noah. It's a good one too.
Yeah. Third Equinox Day, by the way.
Yeah.
Happy third Equinox Day. Yesterday was the second. I believe over the weekend we had the inaugural one of this Equinox season.
Yep.
And so this will be day 3. A lot of it contingent on how deep the World Series goes.
Yeah.
How many of these days we get? I mean, we get seven games in the World Series. I imagine we should have 7 Equinox days. But yeah, I mean, and yes, I am considering college football into that. I know it's not all for professional sports. I guess we've had 2 days. No, not even 2 days because we didn't. I think it was Saturday. Was Saturday yeah. So we had Saturday, yesterday, today. You know, I loop college football, and it's a big enough thing. It counts even if there's not an NFL game.
Pros now. They technically are pros now, but that's a whole other conversation for later, Noah. I do think, though, Noah, we are about to see a change in World Series format, though, because they essentially played games 3 and 4 yesterday / this morning, and then we go into game 4 tonight. I mean, holy crap, Noah. I want to open up with the World Series because we don't get a lot of opportunities to open up with baseball. And I got to say, Noah, in my 29 years of life, I have...
God, you're that old.
I know, I'm freaking old, dude. But I can remember a handful of baseball games and where I was in that moment. You know what I mean? The 2001 World Series, watching it with my parents, Game 7, Luis Gonzalez, all of that. I think about the 2016 World Series with the Chicago Cubs breaking the curse. Watching
that was dope. That one was a fun one. That was
watching
cool.
it with my buddies, starting the game in the apartment and then moving down to the hot tub with the TV that was just installed there, having a couple Coronas and enjoying the World Series and being able to call my grandfather after that and talk about the Cubs finally getting it done. And then I go back to the 2023 playoff series where the D-backs made a deep run, had an afternoon game against the Phillies. My wife and I went and watched us just hit dinger after dinger after dinger.
That was a fun playoff run, too.
There's last night. there's last night where it started off as an absolute banger for about, what was it? It was about 5 innings, 6 innings, 7 innings. It was 7 innings of just great baseball
Well,
everywhere.
it
The
was
pitching was good.
that game was good. Toronto was up what 4-2 in like the
Oh yeah.
second or third inning. It was real Toronto. I mean, there was a lot of runs real quick, and then the Dodgers worked back to tie it up, and then there were a lot of innings with no runs.
Checks notes that'd be 9 innings without any runs past the 7th inning until we get to the bottom of the 18th. And Noah, this is where like
That's more than 9, AJ. I know math's not your strong suit, but that would be
10 innings. Sorry,
yeah 10
10 and a half if you really want to get into
pushing 11 depending on how you draw that
10
one
and
up.
2/3. Fine if you want to go with that, Noah. But my point being, like, even though there were no runs scored in those 10 and 2/3 innings or whatever the hell you want to call it, it was unbelievable. Like
There were plenty of hits and runners on base.
Plenty of hits, runners on base, and just drama everywhere. Kershaw getting called in one more time, bases loaded, 2 outs to go ahead and get that last one there, and probably his last World Series appearance ever. Shohei Ohtani going into extra innings and just not being allowed to swing the bat. The Blue Jays said, listen, if you guys are going to win this game, it's going to have to be with Shohei on base because we ain't going to throw to him. We'd rather throw to Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman on the back end of that, which is insane. Wild work. Wild. But
speaking of Shohei, real quick, AJ, how many innings do you think he goes tonight? Because he's been lights out this playoffs when he has pitched. Here's my problem, though. You got Bieber on the mound. If the Dodgers get down a run or two early, I think it's the hard part of playing that, right? Because you can't have him pitch and bat at the same time. Once he takes an at-bat, his pitching day's over. And sorry to cut you off mid-sentence there, but I just wanted to bring this up, get your opinion on it.
Yeah.
Because I feel like he only pitches 3-4 innings. He only goes maybe 1.5, maybe 2 times max through the rotation. Because if the Dodgers get down, I think they're going to need him in that batting lineup more than they need him pitching. And I know those pitchers are all going to be tired because they all basically every pitcher on both teams basically pitched last
Yamamoto
night.
was warming up again for the Dodgers. Like they were going to throw his ass back out there to try to get this dub. I mean, it was wild work yesterday. We'll get back to that game, but going to Shohei, I've thought about this a lot today, Noah, and
I think he pitches 3, maybe 4 innings.
Max. I think if he is scoreless going into 4, under 50 pitches,
or if
he's
they're winning.
Going.
Different story if they're winning.
But I think regardless, Shohei, and I had this conversation actually last night with my dad about Yamamoto, because after Yamamoto, goes another complete game and everything, we just don't see that anymore. And I think it has to do not only with the way that Shohei and Yamamoto were brought up, and Sasaki, shout out to him having some incredible innings last night too.
That's that Japanese baseball, man.
But exactly, it's the way that those pitchers are brought up and taught how to pitch and how to keep their body ready. And then not to mention the fact, Shohei, let's just talk about Shohei, because the Dodgers had the dream season this year. You're telling me we're going to get the guy who we paid $500 million to bat and pitch, and not only can we get him to pitch, but we get to ease him in because we're not going to send his ass to the minors to go on rehab assignments. No. His bat is too valuable. So let's go ahead, keep him in front of major league pitchers, but keep a hard cap on either innings or pitch count. And that's what they were able to do. And that's why Shohei now in the playoffs is able to go as long as he's going. Not to mention the fact that, can we just admit that Shohei Ohtani is an absolute freak? Like there will never be, has not been a player like Shohei Ohtani. You want to talk about stats and Babe Ruth and everything, fine. But you are looking at 2 completely different athletes, just given the time and the conditions. Shohei is so much different than anyone we have ever seen before. If there's any man on the planet who can play 18 innings and come out the next night and give you 6, 7, it would be Shohei Ohtani. And don't get me wrong, it's not going to be a pretty 6-7. It's going to be a 6-7, maybe a run and 7 hits. But I think they didn't let anyone see him. They didn't let anyone really see him during the season at all, until it got to the playoffs and they needed him to go deep. And now, especially with the bullpen, like you said, using up almost all those arms, those pitchers are going to be ready to go because it's the World Series. But you want Bieber and you want Ohtani to go as deep into this game as possible. And I wouldn't be surprised, even if they're getting dinged up out there, that they keep them in there for at least 5 innings to help out those bullpen arms a little bit. They didn't go 18 yesterday. They go 13, maybe 15. Then fine, I can see the whole 3 innings thing. But with how many arms they used yesterday, he's gonna need to go deep tonight. It doesn't even matter how he's pitching; he's gonna need to go deep tonight.
My opinion on it is it's gonna depend how this game starts, what that score is looking like. If this score stays tied or the Dodgers are ahead, I think they're more inclined to pitch Shohei deeper. They get down a run, 2, maybe even 3 in the first 3-4 innings, then it's like, oh shit, we need this guy in our batting lineup. And the Dodgers have an embarrassment of riches in their bullpen and their starting rotation. They basically have a 6 starter deep rotation plus an incredible bullpen. They'll be fine. Which is why I think, again, if the Dodgers are up early in the first 3 innings, I think they just ride Shohei, let him pitch to save some of that stamina on their arms. But if they get down, I wouldn't be surprised to see Shohei pulled pretty early. Not because he's pitching poorly, but because I think he's got great value on both sides. But he's the best batter in the league. You have the best bat in the MLB for the last 2 or 3 years. And yeah, he can pitch great too. But at what time do you evaluate the cost of him not being in your batting lineup for 1, 2, maybe even 3 times through because he's out of the mound?
No, I get what you're saying, Noah. My thing is, and it's more of a strategic thing at this point.
Dude's a home run machine.
But I get it. But like, if Shohei can come out and pitch 6 solid innings, and we just need a run or 2 from our bats, and then we can throw a relief pitcher in there in the 7th and get Shohei in the lineup, then I would rather save those arms down the line and let this game go. Win tomorrow, last one in LA before you send it back to Toronto. This is going back to Toronto. I'm going to push back. I'm going to pull back on that one. I'm going to pull back on that statement.
I think it will.
I think it's going to go back to Toronto. I think the Blue Jays pick up one of these games tonight, but regardless.
Mark my words, Bieber is going to have a stupid good game tonight. Bieber is going to have a stupid good game. He's going to go like probably 7-8 innings deep, and the Dodgers are going to look that their all-star batting lineup is going to look dumbfounded. I think this is Bieber's got like a 2-point-something ERA in the playoffs so far. He's pitched really well. He pitched really well down the stretch in his 7 appearances in the regular season. But I feel like this is the game where Bieber just fucking dials in, finally gets an opportunity. He's off of Cleveland. He's finally playing in a World Series. I could totally see Bieber just dialing the fuck in and having like a 14K, just like ridiculous, stupid, classic Shane Bieber game here. But I did have one hypothetical for you here because we're talking about Shohei. Say it's the bottom of the 3rd inning. Toronto's up 2-0. And this is all just hypothetical. Toronto's up 2-0, bottom of the 3rd. Dodgers get 2.
Oh, don't freeze on me now.
Is that when you pull the trigger and
you cut out there? You cut out there. I didn't hear any of that.
Oh shit! Okay. So my
every single time he says the word hypothetical, they don't want him to hear it.
Okay. Well, I won't say that anymore. Can you hear me now?
No.
You hear me good? You hear me fine?
I can. Just don't say that word again.
Yeah, Cox has been fucking with me. The Wi-Fi's been terrible for the last like 3-4 days. But if you're the Dodgers manager, you're down 2-0. It's the bottom of the 3rd. You get 1 or 2 guys on base. There's 1 or 2 outs. is that when you pull the trigger and you just pinch hit
No,
Shohei in there?
no, and
I know it depends on who's up to bat, but like if you're in the bottom third of your lineup at that point and
I
you
get
got a
it.
guy or two on, is that when you say, okay, Shohei, you're going in here because we're down two and a 3-run homer would just turn the entire tide of
So
this game?
so Shohei went 4 for 4 yesterday with 2 home runs and 2 doubles, and then was intentionally walked the next 5 at bats. I truly think the Blue Jays, if Shohei Ohtani does go up to bat again, they will put him on base. Outside of bases loaded, even with bases loaded, honestly, I'm pitching around Shohei, and
Depends
I
on the
think
score. Depends on the score
yeah,
and how deep we are in the game.
I
But
guess, but my point being, like, I think the Blue Jays made a point yesterday that if Shohei does come up to bat and there is no one on base, there is one on base and one out, we are going to put his ass on base. We are not going to let him, because he's just been wrecking them all postseason. I mean, and he's been wrecking everybody all postseason, all season, and there's just nothing you can do about it. It doesn't matter how good the pitching is. If there's one batter that's going to break up that no, it's going to be Shohei Ohtani one way or the other.
well,
I don't see a scenario where, and I think you're going to be playing chicken with that if you're the Dodgers, and that's why, again, I'm saying let the man pitch. Just let him go out there and deal all night.
See, I fully disagree with that because I think the biggest favor you can do to the Toronto Blue Jays is not have Shohei in your fucking batting lineup.
I understand.
That is the biggest favor. And I don't care how good he's pitching. The Dodgers have so many other good goddamn pitchers. I don't care how good he's pitching.
Last night, they used them all.
Well,
The only reason Shohei didn't pitch was because he's pitching today.
my
ass would have been out there too at some point.
My point being, I think the biggest favor that the Dodgers can do for Toronto is keeping Shohei out of that batting lineup 1 time around, 2 times around, 3 times around. That's 3 times you don't have to face Shohei. And clearly, Toronto's in a mindset where if Shohei steps up to bat, they're just going to fucking intentionally walk him half the time anyways. So
they can't pull him before the 6th. They can't, unless he's getting shelled. And I mean like 5 runs in the first inning shelled. Like, they cannot pull Shohei. They just can't, dude.
I think they get down. 1 might not be enough, but if they get down 2 or more runs in the first couple innings, I think Shohei's out quick. Because, again, at that point, you're playing catch-up, and he is so much more. You just said what he did last night. You tell me you don't want that guy in your batting lineup?
No, I don't think the Blue Jays are going to pitch to him. I do not think another ball will be thrown near a strike zone.
Well, they won't if he's not taking plate appearances.
Exactly. And so tonight, don't play that chicken game with the Blue Jays. Just think the Blue Jays are go in with that mentality that if Shohei gets up to that, the Blue Jays are going to walk him tonight. Go in with that mentality. Let the man pitch. Save some arms for tomorrow. Save some arms if this goes back to Toronto. And so you can set yourself up for success.
Toronto is a really, really good, well-rounded, sound baseball team. I
get it.
They're gonna push this to at least a game 6, and then I figure at home in a game 6, even if their backs are against the wall, I said it coming into this World Series. I was like, this one's going 6, if not 7, and I still feel confident in that because Toronto is they're no slouches. They didn't get here by accident. Dodgers. And the Dodgers were my pick to win this, but I said it's going 6 or 7 games because Toronto's going to put up some fucking fight.
They will, and it's going to be a hell of a game. Excited for that one tonight. But unbelievable. Again, might be one of the greatest baseball games I've ever watched. And how did that? And that was the best part. Like, you could not look away at any moment because it felt like that game was going to blow up or end at any time. And so, that was arguably the best thing to happen to baseball in a long time.
So I'm gonna put this in right now while we're live because I want to share it with everybody else. If you fade me if you want to, it's not going to be a good line if you fade me. Shane Bieber 9+ Ks at plus 1100. You can take 8+ at 570. You can take 7+ at 285. 6+, you're still getting plus money at plus 140. 5 plus, then you get into the minuses. But I'm going 9 plus Ks. That's the most that DraftKings will allow me to take. I'm not throwing a big play on this or anything, but I may throw a half a unit to a unit on this and just sit back and hopefully watch Bieber absolutely cook this all-star lineup, because I've got this weird deep down gut feeling. It's not even in my guts. It's all the way down in my balls. I feel it that they're tingling. They just want me to take Shane Bieber strikeouts.
Yeah, well, I had a gut feeling the Cardinals were going to win this week, and we were on a bye, and somehow we lost the fucking bye. So I don't know.
I hate to break it to you, AJ, but you can't really win on a bye.
No, but you can lose on a bye, and we definitely lost on a bye. Thank you for your service, Michael Carter, getting cut from the team for absolutely no fucking reason.
Oh, did he?
Was it Carter or was Trey? No, yeah, Carter, because Benson's still on the IL. It made no sense. So
I mean, good thing I dropped him from my fantasy teams like a week ago.
And DeMercado still has a job. That's fascinating. Anyway, go Cardinals. I can't wait for Monday Night Football if you can't tell. And the return of Kyler Murray. Woo freaking who, Noah.
I know you love that guy.
Anything else out of the MLB? I mean, it was 18 games you don't see. I mean, 18 innings you don't see that often. 18 innings in a World Series you damn near never see. A 14th inning stretch you sure as hell never see. Shout out to the Dodgers for throwing that together. That was funny as hell.
That is funny.
It was great, but yeah, it was a great night of baseball. No, I absolutely loved it. All 6 hours of it. You got anything else on it?
No, it should be another fun night. So
we'll enjoy.
See what happens there.
We'll enjoy. Well, Noah, let's go ahead and move on because the football world is still going on, and it wouldn't be a week in college football before November if there wasn't another head coach getting fired. Shout out to Brian Kelly for joining the ranks. Him and that family he built down there at LSU did not last too damn long, Noah.
We had another reckoning this week.
Huh?
We had another reckoning this week. Second time this year we've had a slew of 3 or 4 coaches fired in the same.
Yeah, I mean, listen, in this NIL era where everyone wants to win now and there's a lot of money being thrown around, these head coaches are going to have a very short leash, and I think that is going to start affecting the contracts they're signing, Noah, and the buyouts that maybe those are attached to. Wild work from that.
Yeah, that's an interesting thought, because I do think certain teams are going to try to structure these contracts a little bit differently so that the schools have a easier out than they do right now.
Or we're not giving out life contracts and, we're like, hey, this is a 3-year deal worth this much. These are your expectations. Go win us football games.
Yeah, and you know what? It's been okay for everybody unless you're the University of Wisconsin and you physically do not have the funds to buy out Luke Fickell's contract. I have to imagine at this point that's the only explanation why they haven't fired Fickell yet. And yeah, I know they only lost by 14 to Oregon, 21-7.
Yeah, that's not bad for Wisconsin.
They scored points.
They
scored
did.
Points. Shout out Wisconsin, man. 17 points now in the last 4 games, in the last 16 quarters. If you go back,
mentality coming through.
They have 10 points in the last 15 quarters. But I don't think Wisconsin has the money, and that's the last thing I'm going to say. I don't think they have the money to buy out Luke Fickell. And so,
yeah, and I mean and not only that, I think it's just going to be something that we cannot be spending $50 million on a guy that doesn't work here anymore. Yeah, we can't be doing it. Yeah, and I think that's going to be a college football thing, a college sports thing in general, because we're not even in college basketball season yet, and I can already start smelling those buyouts about mid-season. But
on the flip side, then you got schools that like if you're bought into what your coach is bringing, like if you're Indiana, obviously they start hearing some rumors swirl about Penn State might be interested in Sig, and they're like, no, fuck it, lock him up for another 8 years at a higher contract with a massive fucking buyout, because it is a little bit of insurance for the team if you're not ever in a position where you want to fire your coach, because then that other team that's trying to poach your coach, that rhymed, they got to fork up a shit ton of cash for that.
Yeah.
Because I mean, if you work in a two-way contract buyout, it can work, but when you're not having the success you want in your really highly touted program, like a Penn State, like an LSU, like a Florida, go down the list, then you get stuck with this massive buyout that you're paying a coach who's not even working for you anymore.
Yeah, and
you get the Kevin Sumlin special, is what you get.
Shout out Kevin Sumlin. But I mean, Noah, like the LSU thing, like I don't know anyone who really thought that this whole LSU Brian Kelly thing was a great hire or was a good move for the school. I mean, more of a shock than anything that he lasted this long. It was
such a bad culture fit. Oh my god.
Yeah, but he came in there, he threw the accent on, called everyone family, and still just couldn't get it to go. And I mean, hard to fill in the shoes of Coach O coming off of that natty and everything, and then you go out and get him after you buy out Coach O. That was a weird thing too. But I don't know, Noah. I think Brian Kelly is one of those head coaches, like a James Franklin, like insert name of coaches that have been fired in the SEC this year or anywhere really, that will stay around in college football. Brian Kelly's not a name that I really jumps out to me that's an NFL name or anything. I don't know if he'll take another big Power 5 job like Florida or anything like that. I wouldn't be surprised if the SEC just kind of stays away from him for a little bit.
I could see him at Wisconsin if they
buy out
find the money to get rid of Fickle.
Yeah, maybe, or maybe Penn State.
I'm not convinced Wisconsin even has the money to get rid of Fickle. But if they did get rid of Fickle, I could see Brian Kelly being maybe not a great fit, but a fit there. I could also see if Matt Rule went to Penn State, I could see Nebraska maybe taking a swing at Brian Kelly. Like, for some reason, I see him in the Big Ten somewhere.
Yeah. He feels like a Big Ten coach, doesn't he? No.
UCLA in the Big Ten.
But no, he feels like he gives off that vibe of a Big Ten head coach. So let's get him in the Big Ten. Get Brian Kelly in the Big Ten. We'll start that process now. But other head coaching things coming out of the NFL. Noah, it was reported this weekend by Diana Rossini that Steve Sarkisian was putting out feelers in the NFL, letting decision makers know that he would be interested in a head coaching opening, even including those rascals over there in Tennessee, the Titans, be interested in some type of a mood there. And then his agents politely came out and said, LOL, we love Texas. He ain't looking anywhere. But, I mean, it wasn't pretty.
Who the fuck wants Sark, though? That's the thing.
That was my question, too. It's like, me going into your bank with no banking experience or going into fuck the FBI and saying, hey, I'm the new director of the FBI. I have no experience whatsoever in law enforcement, but I'm making the decisions now, guys. Be something like that. It's weird. And not only that, but like he has a bad record. Like not a bad record, but I mean outside of making the playoffs. Huh?
I'll draw a better analogy. It's like you're putting you on a PIP, a performance improvement plan, and then you go and apply for a step above your position at some other. Well, maybe not a step above, but you apply for the same position somewhere else, and then you just talk yourself up in the interview because you're like, yeah. No, I'm killing it at my job. I'm hitting all the metrics, all this other stuff, and in reality, you're on a PIP.
Yeah. Road Dog, I understand Sark was an OC in the NFL and everything, but from watching him in college, and this might be the horns down coming out in me and everything, but Texas. How do I say this politely? It never felt like Sark was the reason they were winning football games. It didn't feel like because
they haven't won that many of them since they came to Texas until last year, and then they finally started winning. But they had the weakest schedule in the SEC, and
then even then they looked fine. But
it's not the difference. I don't know.
It didn't, I don't know. It doesn't do anything for me. And like, when I think of head coaches and I see them talk and stuff, and I have the same problem with Jonathan Gannon, to be completely honest. Like when I hear them speak, at no point am I like, let's go run through a brick wall. Let's do something. Like he's not one of those coaches that's going to get leaked for an unreal pregame speech or anything like that. You know what I mean? He's going to be, he's Sark, and it's fine. Like, and it can work somewhere. It can, I bet, but it feels a lot more like. But has he? And you dominate Red River, sure. Congratulations for dominating a rivalry game. But like that's just like Michigan, last year saying it doesn't really matter. Ohio State won the Natty. We beat them. That doesn't do a lot for me. That doesn't do a lot for me, Road Dog. And again, I have respect for Sark. They got to the playoff last year, but look what they're doing now with supposedly, everyone thought a same or better-ish roster coming in with this, Arch Manning as quarterback. And I'm not putting Arch's development completely on Sark, but it's who else the fuck do you blame except the head coach?
Yeah, well, yeah, he should have developed more by now.
I agree.
No surprise why they were going with Quinn Ewers, because Quinn Ewers was the better quarterback. Yeah, Texas. Yeah, they have made the playoffs the last 2 years. Whatever. Each of the last 2 years, they have not been a team where I'm like, oh yeah, this is a national championship winning team. Like they just haven't been there, and that's why I say Sark, Lane Kiffin, they're on like the same playing field for me. They're never going to get it done. They're never going to get it done. They're going to have good to great seasons year in and year out, but they're never going to get across the finish line. I don't feel it with Sark. I don't feel it with Lane Kiffin. And yeah, there's a lot of coaches that aren't even sniffing that, a lot of programs that aren't even sniffing that. But I mean, when you load up your roster with 4 and 5 stars every year and you can't go 12-0, that's almost an embarrassment, because there's, smaller power 4 schools, group of 5 schools that are not even getting 4 stars, that are just loading up with, 3 stars that they, and they're trying as hard as they can to get these 3 stars to come there. And then they have these great seasons. Like, that's a mark of a really good head coach, a really good recruiter to me. When you just get 4 and 5 stars thrown in your lap and you still can't do shit with that.
Yeah.
Like, miss me with the bullshit. Oh, it's, the SEC, it's so tough, or the Big Ten, it's so tough. Like, get out of town with that shit. Like, if you're getting that much fucking talent on your roster, it tells me there's much better head coaches out there than you if you can't get it done with that.
And I will agree with Road Dog on this. Sarkisian's resume is very impressive. Like, you look at him as a head coach in the big picture. Sure, he is a solid head coach. He wins football games. He gets results. Like, you cannot take that away. You can't take away the playoffs. You can't take away, as he said, Red River and Tuscaloosa was against Saban and everything. Like, you can't take away those wins. And absolutely, his resume looks great. But when I am watching this team week to week, when I'm watching this team over the course of a season, I just don't feel them as a threat. And I don't even know if threat's the wrong word, but I don't feel that Sarkisian is going to coach his way to a win. I feel like it is going to be off the talent of the team and how that team goes, but it's not going to be because Sark is that much better of a head coach.
Yeah,
I'm not going into a game saying, oh, well, Sark's the head coach here. The matchup, goes to him.
They're decent. There's a reason they were ranked number 1 in the country. Obviously, Arch Manning hasn't been what he was advertised to be, but Texas still got a good team. Yeah, but I don't know. I'm just not fully there. It's
disappointing season for them for sure. But.
And Road Dog, we've seen much bigger transformations in a much shorter time from plenty of other less highly named schools. I mean, like, he's got the advantage too of having that Texas brand, that Longhorn logo behind him. Like, you're set up for success. Like, that's the difference here, right? Like, you are set up for success. I'm going to pull a weird one out of the bag here. Look at Kennesaw State and look at what they're doing from where they came from.
Kennesaw.
Like, to me, that's a mark of flipping a program around, doing a really good thing. Texas was down in their worst years, and it's just, I don't know, man. I just...
Is the CFP doing their thing tonight?
Are they live right now? Is this the first rankings for the CFP?
I think so. This doesn't make any sense. Sorry, Noah, continue.
Well, yeah, and Road Dogg, I know Kennesaw State's not competing for a playoff spot. My point in that was like you flip a team who was getting absolutely trounced, blown out every single fucking game, and you step in there and you flip things around into a team that's winning more than half their games. Texas was never that down. They were never that down. And again, you have all the fucking resources available to you at Texas. You have all of the money available to you. You're getting 4 stars, 5 stars just dropped into your lap because of the brand. And so it's less impressive to me. And maybe that's not the best analogy with Kennesaw. That was a weird one. I don't know. I pulled that one deep out of my bag. But anyways, I'm not overly impressed. It is what it is.
I'm trying to confirm what the hell's going on here. All right, I think it's just projections, but I don't know. I'll keep an eye on that, Noah.
I didn't think they were stepping in at this point.
Literally, the thing says college football playoff top 25. So, I don't know. We'll keep an eye on that, Noah. Anyway, anything else on head coaches before we get into our rankings?
No. That's
Cool.
it.
Well, let's do it, Noah, because we're getting to that time again where you have your weekly top 25. And Noah, this week we will be introducing my first college football playoff top. What?
You got like 3 more weeks until the playoff committee takes over.
I thought so. I don't know why they would take off the frozen frenzy for that bullshit then. Anyway, we're going to take a look at my first 12-team playoff rankings here. Noah, thank you for the help on putting this one together. But let's go ahead and start with your top 25, Noah. Do that fun thing where we compare it to the AP because the AP knows what they're talking about, Noah. Don't you forget it. No changes in the top 6 for the AP. Ole Miss moving up to 7, Georgia Tech down to 8, Vanderbilt to 9, BYU to 10, Noah. Did you have a lot of shakeup here in the top 10?
Not a ton. Well, maybe a little bit. But my top 6, I believe, I got to check notes back to last week. I think my top 6 stayed the same.
I believe so, too.
I had Oklahoma grossly overrated, but they were not in my top 6. My top 6 stays the same. I got Ohio State, Indiana, Texas A&M, Alabama, Georgia, and Notre Dame top 6. After that, I had Oregon at 7 last week. I slid them down 5 whole-ass spots.
I don't blame you.
I slid them down 5 whole-ass spots because I thought some of the teams below them had very impressive games, and I started thinking, what the fuck has Oregon done this season?
I'm with you, dude.
I know they're 7-1, but what the hell have they done? I dropped them all the way down to 12 because this Wisconsin team is stank-ass horrible. And you only beat them 21-7 at home. And I know there was a lot of weather. It was raining and there was other shit going on. But, 21-7 against Wisconsin. This terrible-ass Wisconsin team.
Bad Wisconsin.
Can't even afford to fire their head coach. Yeah, not a good look. So I did drop Oregon down to 12. I again, as I have been every single week of the entire season, I've got Texas Tech higher than the AP poll has them. I got them up at 7. I'm still not knocking them that bad for the road loss at Arizona State. I got Vandy up to 8 this week. Miami at 9. BYU at 10, wrapping up my top 10.
Very nice. I forgot to mention BYU and Miami are tied at 10 per the AP because that makes a lot of sense. Why not just drop one to 11?
Well, it's on a point system, so if they finish
I know, but again, it just points out how fucking stupid the AP is. Anyway, keeping it moving, Noah. Let's go 12 through 15 then. Notre Dame, Texas Tech, Tennessee, Virginia. for the top 15 to wrap up there in the AP. What are yours looking like?
Yeah, here's where things get a little controversial, a little hot, maybe. Yeah, I got Ole Miss at 11. That's not where it starts. Oregon, I mentioned already at 12. Georgia Tech at 13.
Sure.
Cincinnati 14 and Utah 15 that's my top 15. I already talked about Miami, Notre Dame, Texas Tech, Tennessee, and Virginia. Though I got no funny number next to either of those two teams' names, and they are both goddamn unranked for me. And I will die on that fucking hill because these are not good teams. I mean, maybe they're good teams. They're not great teams. These are not top 25 teams in my mind. I just can't wait till it fucking falls apart for both of them because you look at Virginia, their only path to the playoff is winning the goddamn ACC, and Tennessee. You want to talk about who they beaten? Who's Tennessee fucking beaten? Tennessee's best win might be Mississippi State. Get the fuck out of here. I hate this. Who have you beaten? Who have you beaten? Blah 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 card because Tennessee has also, I believe, struggled against Kentucky and Arkansas. Am I mistaken in that?
56-34 against Kentucky. Arkansas was 34-31.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, Tennessee's garbage. Utah, at the very least, they got two losses. That's fine. They got blown out at home by Texas Tech, who I have very high regards for. And then they lost to BYU in a 3-point game in Provo. Not going to hold that against them too much. If we want to talk about quality losses,
those are high
quality.
We
want to talk about quality losses. Utah's losses are way better than. Well, maybe not way better, but Utah's overall schedule is better than Tennessee. I do not feel it with this Tennessee team. I think they're garbage, and I think they're going to lose another 1 to 3 games. I know they only got 3 games left on their schedule, but they're going to lose another 1 to 3 games over the rest of this year, probably 2+, and then OT to Georgia, whatever. Tennessee drops one more game, they're not making the playoff, and that's it. So I don't care. I've been down on this Tennessee team forever. I got a lot of shit for it 3-4 weeks ago when I had them out of my rankings. And, I'm just sticking firm with it. I'm keeping Tennessee out of my goddamn rankings because I don't see them as a top 25 team. And I think they're going to get exposed here in their last 3. They've played such a weak schedule, too. They've played such a weak schedule, and everyone's just holding on to, they went to overtime with Georgia. I don't care. They played a weak-ass schedule. They haven't really played anybody. They're not doing well. They don't look good. They don't pass the eye test. Get out of here. Rocky top, more like rocky bottom. That's all I'm going to say.
All right, well, let's keep it moving, Noah. 16 through 20. AP has got Louisville at 16, Cincy at 17, Oklahoma at 18, Missouri at 19, Texas horns up at 20.
Still think it's a little laughable that Texas is in here in the top 20. But I guess I am an idiot who kept Oklahoma in my top 25. I thought about dropping them all the way out, but I was like, eight to out of the rankings a little bit too much. I think I just held on hope a little bit too much with Oklahoma. Anyways, Cincinnati I already talked about. I got them all the way up at 14 for me. They're playing really, really, really well. And it's going to be a really fun game at Utah. I know they're 8.5-point dogs right now, but see how that one plays out. I got Louisville at 16. I got USF still up at 17.
I don't hate that. I really don't.
Sue me for it. I don't care. I'm big on USF. I know they lost to Memphis. I will get to Memphis later. I do have them in my top 25, but I still have USF ranked higher, even though they lost that game. They are, in my mind, the best Group of 5 team, and so this is a really good Memphis team. I'm not knocking USF too much for that. And then we have at 18 and 19, welcome to the newcomers. Welcome
Ooh,
to two teams that I have in my rankings for the first time this year. And don't even come at me with some schedule bullshit. I got Houston at 18. I got a Houston at 18.
I like Houston at 18.
Game comes down to the wire 2 weeks ago against U of A at home. They get a game-winning field goal. That doesn't matter. They go into Tempe on Saturday and just kind of manhandled ASU, who I do believe is a good team. But Houston's sitting there at a 7-1 record. Their only loss is a blowout loss. Yes, it was at home. I don't care. It was the Texas Tech. Texas Tech's, again, I feel like a lot of these rankings with the AP are being influenced by them just like not putting any respect on Texas Tech
Well, yeah.
in a completely indirect way with a lot of these teams. But yeah, Houston, I got them from non-ranked all the way up to 18. I am impressed by Houston. They have a really good defense. This is a really good team that's getting paid no attention to. And then this one hurt me, AJ. This one hurt me at 19. I did not want to do this. I really, really did not want to do this. But after what happened on Saturday, I had to put Iowa up here at 19.
Wow.
I had to put them dirty Hawkeyes up here at 19. This is a good Iowa team.
Yeah.
Offense, not that great. But, overall, you look at the two things that Iowa consistently seems to do better than anybody else in the country, defense and special teams. They're dialed in. This is an Iowa team that deserves a number next to their name. I jumped them up into 19. And then after a lot of thought and deliberation, I kind of don't like this, but I put Oklahoma at 20. I probably should have dropped them farther, but again, I had them at a really high mark to start it. So I got Oklahoma at 20. Not really feeling great about that, but I shouldn't have gotten so hype on Oklahoma to start the season, and maybe I should have just thrown in the towel and kept them completely out. But
What keeps happening?
we're gonna have them at 20 for now because they do have a really big game against Tennessee, and if they go into Knoxville and win that game, I think they're fully deserving of a number still.
I would agree. Let's go ahead and wrap up the top 25. Noah, Michigan at 21, Houston at 22, USC at 23, Utah at 24, Memphis sneaking in there at 25.
Yeah, I've got Mizzou there at 21. They haven't really beaten anybody, but their losses are to Bama and Vandy, so I can't really fault them too much for that. USC sitting at 22 for me. Michigan at 23. I just had to give the nod to USC with that massive head-to-head win. I don't know what you look at, like 18, 19 through the end of this, and every week you can say, what the fuck is the AP poll doing? But anyways, Memphis is going to be my number 24, and then this one might stir up a little bit, but I'm going to go undefeated Navy with my 25.
Let's go. Let's go.
They haven't lost a game. You look at their next 3 to 4 games, and it's absolutely fucking hell. They're probably going to lose 2 to 3 games in the next 4 or 5 weeks. But, for now, we'll just placehold them at 25. Honorable mention, obviously, to North Texas, Tulane, the other American Conference teams that are really good. San Diego State, another team I'm keeping my eye on. Washington, I've had you in my rankings once or twice. I really, really highly considered it. They're probably right outside there. Boise, obviously, got to give recognition to them. James Madison, TCU, Virginia, Tennessee, Texas, the other teams that are sitting there right outside of mine. And I know Virginia, Tennessee, Texas ranked in probably most people's rankings, the AP's rankings, but yeah, they're right outside. You can knock on the door, but I'm not letting you in yet.
I like it, Noah. I like it. You want to run through your honorable mentions before I go through my top 12?
I just did that.
Oh, you did? I'm sorry. My ears cut out that I didn't hear anything of that. Who can you just run through that for me? I apologize.
That whole
Nope.
spiel on North Texas, Tulane, San Diego State, Washington, Boise, James Madison, TCU, Virginia, Tennessee, Texas.
I heard bits and pieces. My ears kept going out. You sound great now, but sorry about that.
Uh, I don't know. I'm going to go murder whoever. No, never mind. I'm not going to finish that sentence. I don't
There
want to be
you go.
implicated for anything. Um,
Well, anyway, I love your top 25, Noah. It's always makes a lot more sense to me than the AP. So good job on that. But let's go ahead. I want to go ahead and break down my top 12 real quick going into so this is if the college football playoffs was to start tomorrow. This is where I would have the teams ranked. So let's go ahead and start with my auto bids, my top 4 ranks here. I do have Ohio State at 1, Indiana at 2, A&M at 3, Ole Miss sitting there at 4 for right now. I do expect that to have some changes coming up here in the next couple of weeks, but just where we're sitting at right now. Ole Miss is a little wild to me, but it's just the way the cookie crumbles, Noah. Give me Vandy in there at 5, Georgia at 6, Alabama at 7, Notre Dame at 8. Yes, I think Notre Dame goes ahead and wraps it up. Miami at 9, winning the ACC. BYU as that group of 5 bid along with Tulane and then Texas Tech to go ahead and wrap it up there in that last spot there, Noah. But that's what I got. That is what I got, Noah, and I'm sticking by it for right now until I change it next week, probably. But hey, you got anything else on college football?
no. I mean, we'll get to another week. The landscape's going to completely change. I mean, a lot of teams only 3-4 games left, so. 3-4, maybe 5.
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone's got 5 games left. There might be teams with 5 games left. I don't know. Anyways, we will see what happens.
We will. We will stay tuned in. We will have our bets at some point this week, so you're going to want to make sure you listen to that. You want to take a quick break and then we'll do NFL?
Yeah, sounds good.
Sounds good. While we do that, before we do that, do just want to take a moment. Shout out to everyone watching here on Rumble, over on YouTube and X. Y'all are the best. If you like what we're cooking, please hit those like buttons, hit the follow buttons. Does help us out a lot more than you know. But with all that, I'm the Brofict one, AJ. That's the Money Train, Noah. We will be right back. Whoops. You get
Yep.
in 3, 2. And we are back. What's up, DGens? Perfect One AJ here with the Money Train Noah, as we are ready to talk NFL week 9, week 8. It was week 8. I'm sorry. It feels like it's week 9 coming up. I can't believe we're already at week 9 this upcoming week. It's unbelievable, Noah. But we're moving through it, and Noah, this weekend kind of had a theme in the NFL. This theme, the theme of the week was belt to ass. Belt to ass was the theme
Especially
of
the
this
early
week.
slate.
Holy crap, dude! I mean, so first of all, it was the first time I believe since 1970 that we've had an NFL Sunday with only one game within a touchdown or something like that. It was a wild stat that came out about that, and I mean, benefited me because the Cardinals had no part in this, and everyone that I had in fantasy was on one of those teams that went belt to ass. So shout out to them. But it was a lot of blowouts, Noah. A lot of teams looking really bad.
Yeah, and again, especially early, like on Sunday, like I got up and put on the quad box with Sunday Ticket, and I couldn't find games to fill my quad box that were entertaining.
No, no, not at all. It was a nice Saturday Sunday morning to have a nap, though. Let me tell you that much, bud. But no, it
Yeah,
was there were
what I mean, definitely the most boring week that we've had all season in
yeah,
in college,
and
in college or NFL. I mean, it's just like there were not good competitive games.
no, and we have one of these weeks. I feel like every year where the competition doesn't live up to the hype, or the games just don't seem competitive and very lopsided. But it happens. Let's hope for a better week this week. Noah, let's go ahead and get into it. Let's start with Thursday night football that kicked us off with these just absolute ass whoopings. Chargers, Vikings, Chargers 37-10. They get this win here. Justin Herbert, 18 for 25, 227 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. Carson Wentz without a shoulder. Just pretty much didn't have a shoulder in this game, Noah. He went 15 for 27, 144 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception. He will be out the rest of the season with shoulder surgery that he will then recover. Apparently, it's come out now that he's been playing with this for a couple of weeks, which if you have seen Carson Wentz play football the last couple of weeks, yeah, it's been rough. It's been rough.
Injury was sustained when they were in London, and this is now, I believe, 2 weeks after the fact.
Yeah, no, it's bad, and his play has really resembled it. Not only his play, but how he's been on the field. Like this week especially was bad, dude. It was like he looked to be in pain. It felt like they were going to throw JJ in there and save him at some point, but no, we got the Max Brosmer experience there for a little bit. Which shout out to him getting a couple.
Well, they couldn't throw JJ McCarthy in there because he was listed. He was listed as the emergency quarterback. So unless an injury happened to Wentz and Brosmer, JJ wasn't playing. And I have a lot of questions here with the Vikings quarterback room. You know that Carson Wentz is injured and you're trotting him out there and playing him anyways, which is a questionable offense for both Kwesi and Kevin O'Connell that you're allowing this to happen. And then the fact that yet another week we have J.J. McCarthy, who I believe last week should have been healthy. This week should have also been healthy. And you're still listing Max Brosmer as your backup and JJ as your emergency, which I may be reading too much into this, but I've got this weird underlying feeling that the Vikings do not trust JJ McCarthy. And there was a conspiracy theory that the injury was not real to JJ McCarthy so that they could get Carson Wentz in there. And
I believe it was a soft benching is what people were calling it.
And honest to God, I'm curious to see what the Vikings do next week because they haven't really announced anything yet. I think they're going to try to trade for a quarterback because I don't think they want Brosmer or J.J. McCarthy playing quarterback for them right now.
It's funny you bring that up, Noah. There have been a couple of reports and rumors floating around that a call has been made to the New York Football Giants on Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston, the preferred option being Russell Wilson in that spot for some reason. Again, if we couldn't get Jameis Winston to the Bengals with Jamar and T. Higgins, I want him on the Vikings with Jordan Addison and Jay Jettas, dude. Are you kidding me, bro? Get me Jameis over there now. But yeah, those rumors are already starting to fly, Noah. So I think your intuition here is very correct. It seems like he's just not ready. I don't know any other better way to say it except he's just not ready right now.
I don't even know if it's about a being ready thing. I think they're regretting their draft pick. If I'm being completely
you think
honest,
it's going that deep?
I was questioning this when they took him at the top 15 pick to begin with, but I think the Vikings have no faith in JJ McCarthy. And it's funny because front office keeps coming out and saying, oh, yeah, no, he's our guy, he's our guy, he's our guy, he's our guy. And then every opportunity they have to like reassure that without words. Dude's theoretically been back healthy for the last 2 weeks, and you're listing him as your emergency third string quarterback behind Max Brosmer, who I love. Max Brosmer, he was a phenomenal watch last year with the Gophers.
Yeah.
I think if he had one more year of eligibility, the Gophers would be in a lot better place than they are now. Might be sitting at a 7-1 record and potentially ranked. That's neither here nor there. Obviously, he used all of his eligibility in FCS, had a good career there. But Brosmer he's a good solid quarterback. When he has come in, he's looked okay, but he's come in when the Vikings have been down big time.
Yeah, and
now it's a question of, can you get a trade done before this week? If not, they haven't established anything. It's going to be, people are going to be losing their shit, flipping every which way upside down if Max Brosmer gets announced as the starter coming in next week. And the Vikings are going to, if that's the case, the Vikings are going to play it off of, JJ's not fully back from his injury yet. That's
yes,
not
he's healthy, but why not give it another week? Yeah.
Oh, that's not fucking the case. Or they're going to sign some guy from the practice squad, and the next 6-7 days, 5 to 7 days, are going to tell a lot about what's going on in that Vikings quarterback room. And they can sit and keep telling everybody that JJ McCarthy is their guy. We're gonna find out if that's true or not here in the next 5 to 7 days, because if JJ McCarthy's not starting, barring them trading for a veteran quarterback, he's not their guy. He's not their guy. And they don't believe that he's their guy.
No.
And they believe they made a mistake in the draft. And again, we're going to find out in less than a week. And, cue up your biggest drama show, your WWE type of you're not like, I can just see a total WWE type of style. Everyone's going to be like, Vikings say, you're not that guy, pal.
And, it's funny. They had a great veteran quarterback on the roster just a couple of years ago that could have, maybe helped in the development of a rookie quarterback coming in, a la Aaron Rodgers and Love.
What?
Yeah, no, I'm referring to Kirko Grills.
I thought you were talking about Danny Dimes last year.
Oh yeah, they had him on the roster too last year. I forgot about that.
Let him walk. Look what he's doing now. He's with the number one team in the NFL at this point. The Indianapolis Colts, having a hell of a season. But let him walk. Traded away Kirko, who did, by the way, we'll get to that later, did come into the game because Michael Penix, and they're paying Kirk enough money. I think if you're feeling weary about Penix, if you're the Falcons, obviously, like I said, we'll get to that later, but maybe you put him in. What a mismanagement of this quarterback room, though, by the Vikings. I mean, I'm saying that from a standpoint of, I don't think the injury was real. I think it was overhyped with JJ McCarthy. And I think they're regretting the draft pick, and they're trying to hide it through whatever means possible. But you have an undrafted free agent who if they don't get a trade done this week, could very well be the starter. Max Brosmer, undrafted free agent, could very well be the starter this next week.
Yeah, and the JJ
And
McCarthy.
my last thing on that may be a move to try to protect trade value with JJ McCarthy.
No, and I understand.
If you don't put him on the field, people can't see how shitty he is. So maybe that protects trade value.
I'm with you there, Noah. I'm with you there. Maybe they think they have a good enough tape on him that they can ship him out. But let's remember this whole Vikings, JJ McCarthy situation arise because they were kind of having a mass exodus of veterans. They were trading away veterans like Adam Thielen, and
that's Quessie's philosophy.
Exactly. And now we're here. Oh God! Now Thielen's even back on the fucking team. I mean, I get buyer's remorse, but you can't go back in time at this point.
I think he's got 6 targets and 2 catches this year.
Because why not? Why not?
Unbelievable. Which is crazy because when that trade happened, I thought the Vikings got a steal with it based on Thielen's year last year. I was like, oh, they're going to need to give up like a 2nd round pick for him. And then they give up a 5th round pick, and then he's got 6 targets and 2 catches.
Yeah, not very good.
So maybe the Panthers won that one.
Yeah, but shout out to the Colts. They looked great tonight. They looked great on Thursday. Excuse me. Vidal, welcome to the league. 23 carries, 117 yards, and a touchdown. 21 being his long.
Vidal's been around.
No, I know he's been around, but it felt like he came back. Like he hasn't done shit for the Chargers really since since O'Marion Captain's been injured. So I was saying more welcome back. My bad.
He's been in the Chargers organization for at least 4 or 5 years. Once O'Marion comes back, Vidal's going to be irrelevant again. But
yeah, well, enjoy the time. But I mean, everything else looked great. This Chargers team looks solid after a couple weeks of looking a little
better option than Nyheim Hines, apparently.
Yeah, for sure.
Those are kind of the 2 options right now after Hassan Haskins got injured and Najee's out, and O'Marion's out. So the Chargers, it's like, oh, Kamani Vidal or Nyheim Hines.
Ooh, Vidal, please, Vidal. Let's keep it moving, Noah. Don't get me wrong, I'm not shocked that this game turned into a blowout. I was definitely expecting it to be the other way, though. That being the Miami Dolphins and the Atlanta Falcons. The Dolphins took control of this one, 34-10 in this one. Huh? Yeah,
I did call this one.
Yeah, Tua 20 for 26, 205 yards, 4 touchdowns. He was doing so good. They let Zach Wilson get in there for 1 attempt and 1 completion for absolutely no yards. Shout out to Zach Wilson.
What was his passer rating?
Wilson's?
Yeah. What was that QBR at? That's what I want to know.
I'm trying. QBR. Well, so far his QBR is 21.2.
Well, I wasn't asking for the season. I just wanted.
I know what you're looking for, Noah. I'm looking.
We're wasting too much time on this.
Stats anyway. Yeah, dude, what the fuck? I was not expecting this. I mean, Kirk Cousins, 21 for 31, 173 yards. That's a pretty average Kirk Cousins game sometimes, unfortunately, and didn't really have a lot of help in the run game. Didn't really have a lot of help in the passing game. Didn't really have a lot of help on the defensive side. I mean, the Dolphins just walked past them, and checks notes. Dolphins were one of the worst defenses in the NFL the last couple of weeks and decided to turn it on all of a sudden.
Against the run. The worst defense by a big margin against the run. Now, here's the thing. When you get up multiple scores, the other team's not going to run the ball on you as much.
No.
And I think the Dolphins learned a valuable thing here is if we just get up really big, the other team's not going to run the ball on us. And the Dolphins actually have a halfway decent pass defense. But also, you look at this, and it's the Falcons, and they've won a couple nice games, but they also lost 30-0 to Carolina, if we remember that. They get blown out here by Miami. I think it was either this week, last week, week before that, whatever, where I talked about how the two most cardiac teams in the entire NFL are the Falcons and the Panthers.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. For sure.
I mean, a cardiac Jekyll and Hyde type of teams. Like, what fucking? And I said I am struggling so hard to bet on the Panthers and the Falcons because what team are you getting? What team are you getting? A team that can hang in there and upset a team that's better than them? Yeah, you can get that from both of these teams. You can also get a team that gets blown out by 30-plus points from each of these teams. And that's what we saw here. And the Dolphins, not great. No, not great at all. But the Falcons looked really, really, really fucking bad in this game. And this isn't the first time this has happened this season. So I just, we'll see. I think there's going to be a conversation to be had with the Falcons. Do we go back to Kirk Cousins? Because at this point, I'm going to be completely brutally honest. I think Kirk Cousins gives him a better chance to win football games than Michael Penix does. Let Penix give him the Bryce Young treatment of last year that he got with Andy Dalton. Let him sit on the bench for 6 to 8 games.
Yeah.
Let him sit on the bench for 6 to 8 games. Put Kirk in there. I don't think you have a worse chance of winning with Kirk Cousins. I actually think you have a slightly better chance of winning football games with Kirk Cousins in there. And let Penix develop and learn a little bit. I think they put him in a little prematurely. Obviously, last season was kind of like wash, trash. It was done with. So you put him in the last 3-4 games.
He looks serviceable.
I wouldn't have hated to see Kirk as the week 1 starter again this year and let Penix earn his way into that starting role. But Penix has done the opposite now. I would argue has lost his starting role. And I think throw Kirk back in there, not for a long-term thing, but you are paying him a shit ton of money every year. So you might as well just trot him out there, use Kirk Cousins, and let Penix develop and learn a little bit.
Yeah, not all that money is Colts cash. So, you got to do something there. You got to do something there.
Actually, none of it.
Oh, none of it was Colts cash? I thought some of it was converted. But anyway.
Wilder wearing some dope-ass early 2000s throwbacks. I love it.
Oh, I need to throw that on. McCormick in the chat. What's good, brother? But yeah, dude, I'm with you. I think Kirk Cousins needs to start. Go ahead and let him sit, let him develop. It's not like it's either quarterback has great weapons there, so it's not it's not a problem of not having help on either side of the ball. It's a matter of fact of who can get in rhythm and look somewhat decent. But even when we're down, let's hand the ball off to Bijan. Why don't we just hand the ball off to Bijan? Just let him. He's going to get loose. Just let him hand the ball off to Bijan.
Yeah, I mean, it's an embarrassment of riches that you got there with Atlanta.
Yeah, it is.
You got Bijan, you got Drake London, who I know has been a little bit injured, but he's back. Kyle Pitts, he's fallen flat of expectations, but his expectations were so lofty. He's still he's a decent receiving threat. At the worst case scenario, he's a decent receiving threat. But Drake London's phenomenal. Bijan. Yeah, a couple more pieces. That offensive line has been built up to the point where it's actually okay.
Yeah,
and there's no excuse to be getting absolutely shellacked by the Panthers or the Dolphins. There's no excuse for that. And I think you go to Kirk Cousins for anywhere from, I said 6 to 8, but I'll say 4 to 8 games. Let Penix sit on the bench. And when he's ready, put him back in.
I agree, Noah. Let's keep it moving. New York Jets, Cincinnati Bengals, only close game in the early slate. 39-38 Jets get this one. Fields, 21 for 32, 244 yards, 1 touchdown. Rushed, 11 carries for 31 yards, 7 being his long there. Breece Hall with 2 rushing touchdowns, looking damn good for 133 yards. Joe Flacco with an elite stat line, Noah, 21 for 34, 223 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. It was a good game. I mean, the only game that was somewhat palatable at all, and not really until the fourth quarter when the Jets decided to put up 23 fucking points. That was insane. But Congratulations to the Jets for getting their first win. Enjoy it. Not going to get a lot of these this season. This doesn't change my opinion really on anything, Noah.
Yeah. Bengals fucked over my parlay here. I had Bengals. I had a 4-leg parlay. Bengals were Bengals minus 5.5. I even outlined them down because I was like, all right, 5.5. That seems like a fine number for me. No. This team's so fundamentally broken.
Yeah.
And I know they're sitting at a better spot, a better record than the Jets, but the Jets just Aaron Glenn and company, they just didn't give up. They didn't hear no bell. They kept going.
No bell.
Because they were down bad. I mean, they were down 15 in the third quarter. They were down 2 scores at multiple different times, even though they kept trying to fight back. Bengals were got it back to a 2-score game multiple times, and then ultimately lose this game without egregious turnovers or anything crazy happening. A lot of problems with these Cincinnati Bengals. There are a lot of problems. Holy shit, do they need Joe Burrow back?
Yeah. They.
If it's Joe Burrow instead of Joe Flacco in this game against this Jets defense, it's not a 223-yard game with 2 touchdowns and no interceptions. No, Joe Burrow's putting up 370 and 4 touchdowns in this game, and this never gets closer than a 2-score game. It might be a 54-38 type of game. That might be the final score on this one. But against this Jets defense, Joe Burrow's doing something different, and he's just he's gonna go tit for tat once you're up 2 scores.
Yeah, he will.
Flacco, I don't want to shit on him too much. It's better than Jake Browning, but it's just not there. The Jets were resilient in this one; they get the win. Makes that first overall draft pick get a little more interesting. And now you got the Jets, the Saints, and who am I leaving out of the party here? Who's the other one-win team? Titans.
Yep.
Yeah.
I have that one blocked from my memory.
Which I believe the Titans do take back over the number 1 overall draft pick because their win was against a non-conference opponent in the Arizona Cardinals. That's all I'm going to say. Don't want to rub salt into that wound, AJ. But because it was against a non-conference, I believe the Titans are back in pole position for the number 1 overall pick. Due to all the 23 different, all the Baskin Robbins different flavors of tiebreakers that go into the NFL.
Gotta love it. Let's keep it moving. Browns, Patriots belt to ass 32-13. Drake May 18 for 24, 282 yards, 3 touchdowns, and an interception. I mean, he also rushed for 50 yards. Trayvon Henderson had a nice day for himself. I mean, Noah. We had a good 5 years. Without,
the
the Patriots fucking around. But here we are.
Well,
5 years later.
I'm going to keep my mouth shut on this topic because I can't say goddamn shit. Because I've had 0 interruptions between my my Hall of Fame quarterbacks.
Yeah, that's right. I can count on my hand how many Hall of Fame quarterbacks I have, and I don't even think he's going to go in as an Arizona Cardinal. Anyway.
But Patriots had some down years, but it seems like they are back. And I honestly attribute this more to head coaching.
Sure. For sure. Vrabel's a dog.
Which is weird too, because you knew the Patriots wanted Vrabel.
Yeah.
And then they hired Gerard Mayo for 1 year. Vrabel doesn't go anywhere, and Vrabel probably wanted the Patriots too, so it was like a mutual match. Out a year, and Patriots had to endure a year of Gerard Mayo, and then now we're this made the most sense. This was a perfect match for a head coach and Vrabel's going to have this team back to they're going to be a playoff team this year, and then they're just going to be a perennial playoff team every year. Will they get over? The key is going to be, can Vrabel get them over the hump to win Super Bowls? That'll yet to be seen. But Drake May's playing hella good
Yeah.
football, and Vrabel's got this defense playing really well. He's got this whole team playing really well. The Browns, the Dylan Gabriel sucks.
Yeah, he's not playing very good.
Gabriel sucks. I think we're 1 to 3 weeks away from seeing Shador.
I really thought he was going to come in this game. I will be honest. I really thought he was going to come in at some point in this game, but
who do they have up next?
Let's take a look-see. Noah, next up, they've got, at Jets, home against Baltimore, at Raiders, home against San Fran, home against the Titans, at Bears, home against Buffalo, home against Pittsburgh.
Weak-ass schedule, but
And then they close it out at Bengals, sorry.
And the Browns have to know that if Gabriel's not performing against a bunch of weak-ass defenses that they have coming up, again, I think we're 1 to 3 weeks away from seeing Shador. And
yeah.
Although
where's Deshaun, dude? Where the hell's Deshaun Watson at? Like, don't get me wrong. I don't think he should play, and he won't help this team much. And I don't think any quarterback right now will help this team much. But
I'm going to let you in on a little secret.
Oh, let me hear it.
He doesn't even have a code or a key card to the building. They don't even let him in the doors. Yeah, he may be on the roster, but that's
still getting paid too. Man, it's crazy.
I'm gonna let you in on a secret that Deshaun Watson is actually sitting on his couch watching the games every week.
I would believe it. I would in fact believe it, Noah.
They don't suit him up.
No,
he's not.
You don't see him on the sideline ever. Yeah, and
and I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't even show up to practices or anything like
meetings.
No reporter's ever taken any picture of him at practices in the last year and a half.
Yeah, no one's interviewed him for like even beat reporters or anything like that.
I legitimately think he's just on payroll and he's not showing up until his contract expires, and then they're just gonna like forget that he even existed.
I wouldn't be surprised. Would not be surprised, Noah. Do you think Kevin Stefanski gets fired?
Man, it's tough, and we've been through this with other Browns coaches. I think Stefanski's been a better coach than a lot of the ones the Browns have hired, but it's tough because they just don't provide him with a lot of help or support. But we'll see. At some point, he will get fired for lack of performance, and they're just going to do a clean house type of thing. But again, I think we're 1 to 3 weeks from seeing Shador. We'll see what he does. I don't have the utmost confidence that Shador is going to do any better than Dylan Gabriel, but I have said his ceiling's way higher than Gabriel.
Yeah, much higher.
And I think their floor is at about the same place. Gabriel has not looked good. So
no, not at all.
If Shador comes in and he sucks, he'll get another opportunity because of his last name. Dylan Gabriel, maybe not. But
yeah, we'll have to wait and see on that, Noah.
He also might not suck. So
there's that possibility. We do keep forgetting about that possibility. Next on the docket, Noah. Giants, Eagles. Eagles take this one 38-20. We do want to send. Yeah, welcome back, Saquon. Glad that you remembered how to play football, and we got to see one running back do incredible things.
4 touchdown passes in this one.
Yeah, T's and P's to Cam Scattaboo, who did not have an ankle halfway through this football game. Hope that recovery goes well. The Giants now down 2 of their most explosive players on the team. Jackson Dart, the only one kind of left out there for right now. But yeah, the Eagles looked just back to form. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, okay, Eagles. Like, and again, we had this conversation last year, Noah. They're 6-2 again. They come out, blow out the Giants, and okay, they're back. They're winning the Super Bowl this year. Like, we got to really give Sirianni a little bit more credit.
I'm not there.
You're not there? Why aren't you there?
Because they look terrible the last 2 weeks. You look at the last 4 weeks as a whole, right? Like, it's not good. This Giants team isn't good. They got absolutely fucked up by Saquon the first time that they, or not by Saquon, by Scatterboo the first time that they played. Scottaboo ran all the fuck over him. He gets injured early in this one, and they get the win, and it's not a commanding win. It's not a win that you feel great about. They're at home, at the link. Like, I don't know what to make of this Eagles team, and they've been weird if you look at the last 3 years as a whole, right? They 2 years ago they started 11-0, and then they fell the fuck off, lose to the Bucks in the first round of the playoffs, which we kind of saw coming because of the way they basically backpedaled after starting 11-0 into the playoffs. Then last year they start 2-2, and people have questions about them early, and then they go on some fucking tear and win the Super Bowl. I just don't know. Like, they don't feel as fundamentally sound. Like there's issues, and I know a lot of that too. They're giving up too many points is the problem for me. And their defense, they had to let a lot of players go because they couldn't afford to pay everybody. You can't pay everybody, and it just isn't the same defense. And their offense, they had a great game in this one, but their offense, for the most part, this year has looked a little sketchy.
I would give you that, yeah.
Obviously, Saquon had a great game in this one. Jalen Hurts had a great game passing the ball with the 4 touchdown passes. That's fine. It's against the New York Giants. You were at home against the New York Giants. I think most teams will look fine at home against the New York Giants. I'm not sold on the Eagles team. I'm really not. They're the third favorite in the odds to win the Super Bowl again this year. I think they should be down at like 8-10. Like I'm just not feeling it here with the Eagles. And there's some fundamental issues that are going on with this team, and a team that's been under Sirianni very fundamentally sound. But you look at the last 3 years. 2 years ago, they started really, really great. They looked so dominant, and then they fell apart, and there were fundamental issues. Last year, there were fundamental issues early that maybe carried on from the year before that, and they figured it all out, and they were really great. They won the Super Bowl in a landslide. Good for them. Feels like there's issues that are back. There are issues that are back. A.J. Brown might be missing some time. I can't get fully behind this Eagles team right now.
I get it, Noah. By the way, do you want to tune into the World Series really quick? Because, Noah, there was one outcome with Shohei Ohtani pitching tonight that both of us forgot existed. The Dodgers just don't use a DH. He hits as a pitcher, because the DH is designated hitter. They usually come in for the pitchers because pitchers never hit. And the NL then adopted that rule to make it a little bit more fair. But yeah, you can still have your pitcher hit. It's just a designated hitter.
I don't know why I thought that was like not allowed for some.
I think because Shohei didn't pitch for a year, and we just were like, yeah, why the fuck would a pitcher ever swing a bat? But anyway, that makes a lot more sense. So Shohei Ohtani did get walked at his first at bat. Not intentionally walked; they just pitched around him. Anyway, back to the NFL, Noah. Let's move on to Bills and the Panthers. Bills belt to ass 40-9 in this one. Josh Allen didn't have to do a lot because James cooked. James Cook, 19 carries, 216 yards, 2 touchdowns. Josh Allen, 12 for 19, 163 yards and a touchdown. Mitch Trubisky coming in 2 for 4 with 22 yards. Noah, let's go. Mitch Trubisky. Andy Dalton, 16 for 24, 175 yards and an INT. Rico Dowdle was pretty quiet in this one. So was Hubbard. T-Mac, though, almost had 100 yards. Shout out to T-Mac, still killing it. But Noah, the Bills did what they should have done. Right?
Yeah. With no Bryce Young here, who I do think last 5 weeks overall has looked pretty good.
Looked great.
Bryce Young, unfortunately, out of this one, and Dalton comes in for an actual, injury reason rather than
just benching the guy.
Just the Panthers playing juggle the quarterbacks, and Yeah, I think if Bryce Young played this game, I still think the Bills win. I still think they probably cover the spread, but I do think Carolina puts up some more points if we have Bryce Young in this one.
Yeah, it would probably be a little bit more competitive, just a different type of quarterback that this offense is set up for now. He's looked really good, so hope he is ready to go sooner rather than later. Anything else on that one?
No, I mean, again, this is like the same thing with the Falcons as the Panthers. I mean, they're Jekyll and Hyde. Their defense is sometimes looks really good. If they're not forcing turnovers, they get run the fuck over. And this was a case where they got run the fuck over. And they were never going to be in this game, even if Bryce Young was playing. I think maybe they put up a 7 to 10 more points if Bryce Young's the quarterback instead of Andy Dalton.
Fair. Fair. Let's move on to Bears and the Ravens. And before I get into this game, no, there is breaking news from the Chicago Bears. It has been announced that they do intend to draft Arch Manning in 2027 after releasing Caleb Williams at the end of the 2026 season. I told you guys. I told everybody, I said, listen. If there was any time the Bears were going to shit out, it would be when the Ravens don't have Lamar Jackson. It would be when Snoop Huntley is in. It would be against a not great defense because, again, Caleb Williams is not great. I like how this Bears team is going. I like Ben Johnson, but Caleb is not it. And I've been saying this all season long, and I'm going to continue to say it. No, 16-30, the final score there. 25 completions, 38 attempts, 285 yards, and an INT, taking a sack as well. Rush for 24 yards, sure, why not? Listen.
Let's compare that to Tyler Huntley's stat line, though.
Oh, okay, let's do that. Tyler Huntley, 17 for 22, 186 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 sacks. He did take 2 sacks, but he also rushed, for 53 yards off 8 attempts, Noah, with 29 being his long. So one of these things is not like the other. Listen. It's the Chicago Bears. I'm not surprised anymore. And they were playing too well for them not to have a bad game sooner rather than later. And so I'm not surprised that they get it out of their system. I'm not out on this team. I haven't been out on them all season, but they are playing how I expected them to play. A little bit hot to start. But besides that, this is going to be the same type of Bears team that are going to lose these type of games and are going to lose more heartbreaking games down the season. Again, we don't get the run game going with Swift. It's not going to look good. No one was catching a football. I mean, Odunze was, but I don't know, man. They just couldn't get it done in the red zone, and I am done with the Bears. Shout out to the Ravens. They will be getting Lamar Jackson back on Thursday for their Thursday night matchup. But Tyler Huntley, for some reason, took them 3 fucking weeks to go to him instead of Cooper Rush. But I don't know, man. I don't know why they didn't get him earlier. I mean, he fits into that offense a lot better than Cooper Rush does as a similar type of quarterback to Lamar, but Ravens get it done. They're 2-5, man. 2-5.
Yeah, and still have an over 10% chance at winning their division at 2-5.
Wild.
Well, Steelers are sitting at 4-3 atop that division, so they're only 2 games back. Lamar was potentially going to be back this week, was not, didn't matter. Shout out to the Ravens realizing, we got the Bears on the schedule. We don't need to rush him back. Lamar should be back next week. Defense, I thought, played pretty well with and one of their better games this season for a very, very suspect defense that Caleb Williams still couldn't even exploit. He's had 2 terrible weeks in a row against not great defenses. And, Caleb Williams, he kind of sucks. I'm just going to say that. It is what it is. He's got great receiving weapons with the Bears and just can't get it done. They built up the offensive line, still can't get it done.
Yeah.
I think part of it's a big organizational issue, not necessarily a quarterback issue, but I don't know. Maybe they just draft terrible quarterbacks because Justin Fields, I don't want to talk too much shit about him, but whatever. Mitch Trubisky, I just go down the list. Whatever, it's fine. I I was big on the Ravens in this game when it was a 6.5 point spread, 7.5 point spread when Lamar was supposed to be playing, and then it dropped all the way down to 2.5. And I was still gung ho on the Ravens on this one. I was like, it doesn't matter.
No.
I was like, the Bears are gonna fuck up and lose this game because they're a bunch of fuck ups, and that's just who the Bears are.
That's who the Bears are, man. That's Chicago Bears. They're good at what they do. Don't you ever forget it. They're good at being the Chicago Bears. Again, I think we just need Ditka back under the headset. But anyway, let's keep it moving. Noah.
Bears will hire Sark.
Oh my God, they will. Oh my God, Noah, you're totally right. Oh, you're totally right. No. They're going to do what the Cardinals did. They're going to go ahead. Sark ain't going to get to the NFL this year. He's going to get hired out of college next year. Arch is going to go to the draft. And then Noah, they had such a successful 2 years together. Why not do that in the NFL? I hate the Chicago Bears so much. Anyway. 49ers, Texans get this one done 26-15. Mac Jones is still the starter for the 49ers, 19 for 32, 193 yards, 2 touchdowns and an interception. CJ Stroud looking a little bit more back to form that we used to see with him, 30 for 39, 318 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Does go ahead and run for 30 yards as well. I mean, solid game all around for me for the Texans. I mean, the interception you wish you could get back if you're CJ Stroud, but with Mac Jones helping out with that one, you can't complain too much. He had a great spread across everyone. CJ Stroud, great vision, got the ball a little bit to everybody. Texans look good. Hello?
I lost you for the end of that sentence. I don't know what you said. But
all I said was Texans look good.
Yeah, you wanna go to the scroll down to the receiving stats on the Texans there?
Oh yeah, you talking about all these? How everybody had a catch?
Well, I mean, lots of people to catch. Stroud spreading it around. Best game that he's had all season, I would say. Maybe second best to the Ravens, but this is much better defense. I love that no Nico Collins and the Houston Cyclones coming to work here. Hutchinson, Knoll, Jaden Higgins getting involved. That is count them 14 receptions for Iowa State wide receivers here, and it makes you wonder, if CJ Stroud decided that he didn't want to go to Ohio State and went to Iowa State instead. No disrespect to Rocco Beck or even Brock Purdy or anybody else who I feel like there was a year where there was somebody in between them. But I love how we got 3 Iowa State receivers. Probably Alan Lazard's probably the 4th one, but outside of that, I don't know if we got too many wide receivers from Iowa State in the league. But you got 3 of them there who all get a chance to play due to some injuries. And CJ Stroud finding all of them for a number of catches, spreading the ball the fuck around.
Yeah.
And
really.
Stroud seems like he might be dialing back in a little bit. I know they started 0-3. They're now 3-4. Stroud feels like he's finding a little bit of a groove. This defense has been phenomenal all season. That's been the one consistent thing with the Texans. Hard part with the Colts starting 7-1 and playing the way that they are is I don't know that the Texans are going to be able to overcome that. Now they do have 2 games against the Colts where they could potentially make up a lot of ground. I still think the Texans might squeak into the playoffs here. I think
a wild card for sure.
They're sitting at 3-4. I'm not opposed to them maybe stealing a wild card spot here. This defense is phenomenal. This defense has gotten better and better and better. The offense, will Mixon ever come back? We don't even know. But, Woody Marks is the guy that they want, but he's still splitting carries with Nick Chubb because he hasn't proved to be a number 1 running back yet. And Chubb's not, great, but he's still productive. we'll see what this Texans team is weird. This is a wait and see type of team for me, but
Yeah.
San Francisco, God, they're just so beaten and battered.
Yeah, they're bad.
It
Like,
feels like every time they get one player back, two players get injured, and I don't know that San Francisco is going to be able to make it into the playoffs.
I
And
don't either. I don't either. And I think the Rams have got, the Rams are going to have the NFC West. And, them and the Seahawks are really going to battle for that, I think. But
the Rams defense is too damn good, and the Seahawks do have an explosive offense with Sam Darnold and both of the running backs there, and in Charbonnet and Kenneth Walker, and you throw JSN and Cooper Cup being a okay contributor, and Barner as well. Like, yeah, I think San Francisco is just too beaten and battered.
I get it. I agree, Noah. Let's keep it moving. Buccaneers, Saints get Pete. Excuse me, I just butchered that. Buccaneers win this one 23-3. Spencer Rattler went 15 for 21, 136 yards, and they said, cool, dude, here's the bench for you. Tyler Shuck, 17 for 30, 128 yards, one interception. He has been named the starter moving forward for your New Orleans Saints. Baker Mayfield, 15 for 2,452 yards on the day. Not a bad running back day. Didn't need a lot, just all around. Didn't need a lot from anybody. And again, they're another team that's badly injured, needs some guys back. But, I mean, the Buccaneers still get it done.
They look bad on offense.
Yeah.
They look. I mean, two defensive touchdowns. They win 23-3 at two defensive touchdowns.
Yeah.
This was an ugly game from the Tampa Bay offense. And the second ugly game in as many, or who did they play last week?
That was the
Detroit.
Yeah, that was the loss to Detroit, 24-9.
Yeah, with Detroit missing their top two corners and their top two safeties in that game, you had a beaten, battered bunch of backups in the secondary for Detroit, who's not a particularly great secondary to begin with, and they struggled in that one, and now they struggle in this one. I know you got Godwin and Evans, who at this point, let's just consider Godwin and Evans out for the entire season. I know Evans is out for the entire season. Godwin might come back, but it doesn't even fucking matter. So Ibuka's your wide receiver number one, and then you got Tez Johnson. I mean, K. Dotton, I should say, probably is your wide receiver two here.
Yeah,
even though he is a tight end, and then you got Tez Johnson and some other guys. It was a really great start for Tampa Bay, and you were like, okay, cool. Godwin and Evans are going to come back, and then we're going to have this Godwin Evans Ibuka thing. But who knows if Godwin will come back? And Ibuka's been playing through injury the last 2 weeks.
He's banged up.
Because you need somebody to throw the fucking ball to. I think Tampa's going to fall off a bit here on offense. They're going to and Bucky Irving, too. You got no Bucky Irving, and so you got Rachaad White, but now you're trying to phase out Rachaad White with another young rookie running back. I don't know why. Rachaad White's productive. Just give the ball to Rachaad White, use him. But congratulations, you're 6-2, Tampa Bay. The rest of the regular season does not feel super optimistic for me if I'm a Tampa Bay fan, if I'm in the Tampa Bay organization. Baker's playing out of his mind. He's in the MVP conversation. But at some point, who the fuck is Baker throwing the ball to?
Yeah. Yeah, and that's going to start turning into a problem for the Buccaneers. So hopefully they
their
can
defense
make
scored
a move.
2 touchdowns, which, shout out to their defense, but this 23-3 victory does not feel good if you're Tampa Bay in my mind.
No, does not feel good at all. No, it doesn't feel good at all. Let's keep it moving, Noah, because Dallas Cowboys still have one of the worst defenses in the NFL. 24-44 Broncos take this one. Bo Nix at 19 for 29, 247 yards, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception. On top of that, J.K. Dobbins decided to run for triple digits off of 15 carries. R.J. Harvey had himself a nice little run, too.
You little
Cowboys, I
touchdown
mean,
shark, you. A lot of people dropped R.J. Harvey from their fantasy teams in the
I
last week
know.
or two, and he just decided he wanted to shark 2 touchdowns. I love that. Love the
Shout out
chaos.
to Shout out to RJ. Dak Prescott, 19 for 30, 188 yards, no touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Yeah, let's go ahead and throw Joe Milton in there for 58 yards and a tutty. Sure, why not? Javonte Williams had 2 as well. Just not a lot of good things coming from the Cowboys, Noah. And the offense has been, the shining point of this team. And, Dak coming out with those 2 interceptions definitely doesn't help. I mean, Pickens and Lamb still played fine, 7 receptions for 78, 74 yards. Not terrible, but when your defense is that bad, it doesn't really matter how many points you can put up.
Yeah, the Cowboys are still going to be somehow in the playoff hunt with like 2-3 weeks left in the season.
Yeah, that's going to be wild.
Because this offense is good. This offense is good. They just after the Ravens' performance, can we bump the Cowboys back down to the worst defense in the league?
I'm fine with that. I'll approve.
Because I've been on that hill even with the Ravens' struggles. I'm like, okay, this is the worst defense in the league. You get rid of your pass pressure with Micah Parsons, and all of a sudden, oh yeah, Deron Bland and Trayvon Diggs are just ass in man coverage. They're just ass. The only reason they got all these interceptions is because these quarterbacks were looking at the defensive linemen that were coming right at them and then not making a clear throw. And when they have a clean pocket, yeah, Deron Bland and Trayvon Diggs, both certified ass. Yeah, Cowboys are the worst defense in the league. They're still going to win 7 and 8 games, I think, this season.
They'll figure it out. That's for sure. They will figure it out.
I also think there's a weird off chance that they somehow squeak in with like a wild card spot.
That
face, AJ, I share that sentiment for it, but
I don't want to waste a playoff weekend watching the Cowboys.
Well, it'll be like 2 years ago when the Packers went into Jerry World and just except for they were going to be on the road, and maybe we just get a repeat and they go to Green Bay.
And give us a snow day in Green Bay against the Cowboys.
Packers get the 2 seed, Cowboys get the 7 seed, and the Packers just, I know they tied 40-40 last time, but then the Packers just decide, hey, I don't know, we're going to go in and win this one 62-10.
Yeah, you would hope so. Keeping it moving, Noah. Tennessee Titans, Indianapolis Colts. Colts, best team in the NFL, get another win here, 38-14, along with MVP candidate Jonathan Taylor, 12 carries, 153 yards, 2 touchdowns. Huh?
I didn't realize they played 5 home games already.
Yeah, and that is a conversation that we could have about the Indianapolis Colts, how they
Titans
just haven't been on the road.
Huh? Titans have played 5 away games already.
Yeah. I mean, wild scheduling, and they don't have any. Like, they've got a couple of back-to-back weeks that they go on the road, but still, their road schedule is about as soft of a road schedule as you can get. You got to play at Chiefs, so that's gonna suck. At Steelers is never fun, but anyway, yeah. They look really good though, Noah. They look really good. What did I say? You give Daniel Jones a MVP caliber running back with an offensive line that knows what they're doing and a weapon or two. He can be a solid quarterback. 21 for 29, 272 yards, 3 touchdowns on the day. I mean, Indiana Jones has looked unbelievable. And shout out to Cam Ward, not having a bad night either. 22 for 38, 259 with touchdown and an interception for him as well. Any big takeaways from this one, Noah?
Yeah, Jonathan Taylor got that dog in him.
Boom.
I don't know why. I don't know why the late Jim Irsay was ever.
Didn't want to pay him everything.
That's mind blowing to me, and I don't want to say anything bad about the man because he just died in the last year, and
But
why
yeah,
why the fuck were there ever conversations about he tried to stiff arm Jonathan Taylor out of like
yeah, yeah,
because Jonathan Taylor was asking for money.
yeah. Well, Noah, I mean, and again, not saying anything bad about the guy, but like, I
He
do think amongst the owners, that does seem to be a little bit of that old school mentality. We talk about old school mentality in football. It feels like that old school mentality amongst guys like an Ursay, like a Jerry Jones, like a,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Kraft. And
Here's the thing: if Ursay was still alive, I'd be telling me he's a fucking idiot for not for this ever being a conversation about paying Jonathan Taylor because he might be better than Saquon. It's in my mind right now. Like you look at the NFL right now, it's 1-2.
yeah,
Jonathan Taylor, Saquon, McCaffrey provides a different set of skills. Derrick Henry's obviously up there in the top 5, but these are the top 2 true running backs in the league in my mind. And Jonathan Taylor's never not been that.
no, no.
And I'm not going to dive too much into that because I don't want to, I don't want to disrespect Jim Irsay's, ghost or corpse or whatever. But how was this ever a conversation? I mean, goddamn, Jonathan Taylor is so fucking good, and he opens up everything else. That's why Daniel Jones is having such a good season. Colts have decent receivers. It's not a great receiving core, but it doesn't matter because they're all so goddamn wide open because everybody got to sell out against the run. And when you don't, then what happens? Oh, Jonathan Taylor goes off for 3 touchdowns and like 200 fucking yards like he did against the Titans.
Yeah.
And it makes it real easy. Makes it really easy when all you got to do is hand the ball off to somebody like that. Saw that from the Eagles last year. We're seeing it from the Colts this year. You got a good offensive line and a elite running back, and all you got to do is hand him the ball. And then when you don't hand him the ball, oh shit, everybody's open. Everybody's open because the defense sold out against the run.
No, exactly. You need a good run game. Keep running
And
the football.
It's funny because Daniel Jones, when he earned that big contract, he had Saquon in the backfield.
Yeah, I know.
Opening everything up for him. And it turns out when everything's opened up by an elite running back, then Daniel Jones can really sling the rock.
Dude, I know. That was my take going into the season. He's a dog. He is a dog. Let's go ahead and get.
He's not.
Yeah, he is. He is.
When he has
okay, can we just no. I'm not even going to listen to this, Noah.
I'm saying when Daniel Jones has an elite running back in the backfield, he can sling the rock real pretty because all of his wide receivers are wide open.
Would you also agree that he had no other weapons essentially in New York except Saquon?
Yeah, that's
Would you
fine.
also agree that he had no offensive line whatsoever?
That's fine, but it doesn't matter because when the defense is sold out against the run and you run a little play action, it doesn't matter who's catching the ball when you're thrown to a receiver who's open by 5 yards. And that's what happens. And I'm not saying Daniel Jones can't put a ball into a window, but he can't do it consistently. But it doesn't matter because all of his wide receivers are so goddamn wide open that
go watch some Daniel Jones tape. He has put some fucking balls in windows this season. Let me tell you that, brother. Yeah, this one with Pittman this weekend.
Jonathan Taylor goes down. God forbid, I'm knocking on wood, but Jonathan Taylor goes down. Daniel Jones' stats are going to plummet.
I don't know about that. Anyway, let's move to Sunday Night Football. Noah, Green Bay Packers, Pittsburgh Steelers. Packers 35-25 in this one. Gave us a little bit of a heart attack there and then decided to play football in the fourth quarter, Noah. So thank you to the Packers for waking up a bit.
No, not the fourth quarter. Tale of two halves. Tale of two halves.
Go for it.
Oh, this was absolutely a tale of two halves. I mean, Steelers were. I'm. What can I say? The Steelers. They looked like the Steelers, right? This would have been a big blowout, aside from the special teams difference here. And that's all I'm going to get into it here. You got Boswell going out there just nailing 40, 50 plus yard field goals left and right. McManus missed two of them. I'm not saying we should go to Lucas Havrisik because I hate that motherfucker. I saw him miss way too many goddamn field goals at U of A. I do not trust him, even though he hasn't missed for the Packers in 2 weeks. He's still on the roster. We got rid of a reserve cornerback or a wide receiver or something to keep two kickers on the roster. That scares me. But Jordan Love. That's all I need to say with this game. Jordan Love and Tucker Kraft. I will put Tucker Kraft in there. Welcome back to Christian Watson. He had an impact on this one, but yeah, Jordan Love did his fucking thing. He cooked. Call him the surgeon in this game. I know that's a nickname that's already taken, but he was surgical. Jordan Love was surgical. He was picking them apart, especially in the second half. And every pass that he threw was where it needed to be. It was where it needed to be. The receivers, the tight ends, they took care of business. He had a couple desperation throws that he threw up. And two of them, Tucker Kraft was there. And I'd love to see, I've watched some videos, deeper dissecting this, but when shit breaks down, Jordan Love throws these balls up with so much hang time and so much loft on them. You would think that's an easy pick.
Yeah.
However, it seems like every time he does that, the defenders don't know where the ball is. And
just drops it.
And then you have a well covered route that this ball just gets lofted up with so much air and so much time, but the defenders never see what's going on, and it feels almost like a little witchcraft going on here with Jordan Love. The way he just like throws these balls at you, coming out of the hand, you're like, okay, that should be an easy interception, and it's a well covered route, and then somehow, the route gets broken down, the coverage gets broken down, and then the receiver ends up with it, or the tight end ends up with it, and then they get a bunch of yards after carry on it as well. Like, it's a weird thing. You would think Jordan Love would have way more interceptions than he does, but he does not.
No, not at all.
And then when it comes down to, that's only like 3 or 4 passes for the entire game. The rest of it, just surgical. It's just surgical. It's short, a lot of short routes, medium routes over the middle too. And it's just surgical. Love puts the ball in the place where only his receiver can catch it. And if they don't catch it, it's generally incomplete.
No,
and if they do hold on to it, it's a catch. I mean, Love's playing phenomenal, and he's only getting better. This is his 3rd season as a starter, and he's only getting better. Like, his stats might not always be impressive, but watch out. Like, and I hate all the comparisons to Aaron Rodgers because I do feel like Love is. I feel like if you really want to draw in the Packers quarterback comparison, Love is a slightly more careful Brett Favre.
Oh God, sure, fine, I'll give you that.
He's a more careful Brett Favre. He's got the cautiousness that Aaron Rodgers had with his passes to not throw interceptions. He doesn't throw up 50-50 balls.
No, I understand.
Doesn't quite have the precision of Aaron Rodgers, but he's Brett Favre, but he's careful.
Okay, all right, Noah.
If you're going to draw that analogy, but he's his own guy. He's his own guy, and he's a phenomenal quarterback, and that's all you need.
My thing with this week, the Steelers this week was they couldn't. I don't think they could have played a better game. Like, I do not think the Steelers, I think the Steelers have played their best football. Like, I do think they put their best foot forward and they did what they could. Like you mentioned, Jordan Love just dropping balls out of the sky into buckets is unbelievable, and it works.
And they
Again,
had good
Tucker,
coverage on those.
yeah, it wasn't bad cover. Again, like I said, it was, they were just on the bad bounce of it. You know, they were on the unlucky side of that game. They played the best football that they could. Maybe Aaron Rodgers could have completed a couple more passes. Maybe, you know, someone could have gotten a couple more yards. But, you know, overall, like, they played good football. They played Steelers football. I don't know if you get a better game out of the Steelers than that. I don't know if they're capable of playing a better game than that. And that's not an indictment on them. That was Steelers football that it has been the last 5 years or 10 years, 15, however the fuck long Tomlin's been there. But anyway, Sunday Night Football, Noah. I know you're used to hearing this because I'm used to saying it. Chiefs win 28-7 over the Commanders. Marcus Mariota, 21 for 32, 13, one touchdown, 2 interceptions. Patrick Mahomes got a couple early too with 25 for 34, 299, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions as well. One of them, Lattimore just had a great pick on. The other one, Travis Kelce, couldn't figure out how to catch a football.
Second time this season.
Yeah, I'm sure Taylor yelled at him for that. You can't be doing it, Travis. Anyway.
Shoot.
Yeah.
Whatever. Jaden Daniels plays this game fully healthy.
Closer.
I think Washington is in the lead third quarter, late third quarter, early fourth quarter. And Chiefs have to come back, and I don't know if they can get it done. This was for 2.5, 3 quarters, the best performance I've seen out of Washington's defense this season, which has been spotty.
Yeah.
And then they fell the fuck apart.
Yep. Yeah, the Patriots woke up after halftime. There's no doubt about it.
God, well, and here's right the first quarter, Washington gets stopped on downs twice. If Jaden Daniels plays this game, and Jaden Daniels isn't like the best quarterback in the league by any means, but he's much fucking better than Mariota. I think this Washington team plays with the lead the entire game. If Jaden Daniels is in here, they're able to open up their run game a bit more, and I think they win honestly by one, if not multiple scores.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Mariota was ass. This Washington defense did everything they needed to in the first half, picking off Mahomes each of the first 2 possessions. It just, unfortunately, you had Mariota as quarterback, and he also made quite a bit of mistakes, and then you get blown out. Like, I really think the quarterback being Jaden Daniels in this game, if Jaden Daniels, assuming he doesn't throw any bad interceptions, I think Washington wins this game because they're up 2 scores going into the fourth quarter. And then the Chiefs are playing catch-up ball, and Mahomes maybe even throws a 3rd interception in this one. But the Chiefs were able to early, halfway through the third quarter, were able to get comfortable in this one. And they weren't worried about Washington scoring points. And Washington abandoned the run game.
Yeah, they cleared out of it.
But I'm thinking in this one, the way the first half went, the way the Washington's defense was going, Washington could have been up 14, 17 points going into halftime, and then you get real comfortable running the ball with Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt. You get Bill going, and you get Jaden. If he needs to running the ball a little bit, you get easy passes, easy completions for Jaden. He's not throwing interceptions, and then then we're talking about 10-point Washington win instead of a massive blowout for the Chiefs.
Yeah,
I think that made all the difference in this game because Washington's defense, first half especially, played phenomenal, and eventually they did fall apart, which was to be expected. But this offense could not get a goddamn thing going for Washington, and it's because Mariota is just not. He's just not going to do it. He's not going to do it, and we saw that.
That we did. That we did. Well, Noah, that is everything from week 8 of the NFL. You got anything else before we call it a night?
No, Washington's going to miss playoffs unless Jane Daniels gets back in there and does something incredible. But I really don't see it happening. And this was one of my teams that I expected was one of my playoff. This was like my number one team that made the playoffs last year that I expected not to make it this year.
Yeah.
And I did not anticipate a Jaden Daniels injury, but that just salt in the wound.
Yeah, salt in the wound for sure. Well, hey, thank you all for listening. Thank you all for watching. Shout out to everyone watching here on Rumble, over on YouTube and X. Y'all are the best. If you like what we're cooking, please hit those like buttons, hit the follow buttons. Does help us out a lot more than you know. With all that being said, I'm the Brofict one, AJ. That's the Money Train Noah. We'll see you next time on Degenerate Takes.